Good morning. Brad's with me. What's up, buddy? Happy Wednesday. It's the hump day. I've got some fun topics to talk about today. And I'm glad I can talk about fun because I've kind of been laying low on Twitter. There has been just so much toxicity in hobby Twitter this week. And it's all like talking crap on Dallas Card Show, whether it be the older generation, cursing the younger generation, and then the younger generation cursing the older generation. And it's just like I've had to kind of lay off and just not engage because it's just too much for me. So that's why I haven't been tweeting as much, just because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of negativity. And it's funny that most of that negativity is coming from people that weren't actually at the show. So that's what I found very funny. What's up, George? Twitter has been something for sure. Dan, good morning. Yeah, Twitter has been something else lately. And it's like, come on, it's warm out. It's summer. We've got Memorial Day coming up, like the official start of some unofficial official start of summer. We can go to games again. We can go out. We can do stuff. Card shows are happening. Let's have some fun. Speaking to that, I will be set up at a card show again this week. 3 weekends in a row of card shows for me. Beautiful, beautiful. I was gonna lay off. I had somebody reach out to me, and they're like, "Hey, they're trying to get 50 tables. Do you want to set up in Rockford, Illinois, which is a little over an hour from where I'm at?" So I went to the Dells 2 weekends ago. My show was this past weekend. I think I'm going to lay low. I think I'm going to skip out. Let me check. What's up, Mark? Good morning. Let me check with my wife, see if we have plans, since it is a 3-day weekend. So I'm like, So I mentioned to my wife, I'm like, yeah, somebody asked me to set up at a show in Rockford on Sunday. She's like, "Are you going to do it?" And I'm like, "Nah, I've been to shows the last 2 weeks." She's like, "Do it." I'm like, "Okay, I'm in." So I went from I'm not going to do it to getting 3 tables. So I'm going to do 3 tables, nice horseshoe. I'm going to take all my bargain boxes again. I did, since I picked up some boxes at my show. I went through and cherry picked some cards, about 500. So I'll have an additional 500 cards that I'll throw in to this week's quarter boxes. So pretty much, and the good thing is pretty much everything is all ready. In fact, I had to pull out my bargain boxes that I set up at my show. I just took out of my car yesterday. And the only reason they probably, in all honesty, they would probably still be in the back of my SUV had it not been for me having to mow on Monday. And then I took the lawn clippings. I bag the grass, and then we have a yard waste facility that's like, just can actually see it from my backyard, just over the way, a couple blocks away. So I just bag it up and take it over there, dump it at the yard waste facility. So I had a few bags of grass. So I had to empty out my cards. So like half, maybe not quite half, but half of the boxes are still in upstairs. So I think I'm just gonna make sure that I can't consolidate, and I'm just gonna take them back and put them in my car for the rest of the week. That way I don't have to haul them upstairs again. So I so Sunday would be my 300th episode, but I don't know if I'll go on Sunday because, I definitely won't be on Sunday morning because setup begins at 8. So I'll probably leave my house at 6:30. So I definitely won't go on Sunday morning. I probably won't get home until like 6-ish, 6 p.m. So I probably won't recap it on Sunday night. So the recap will probably be Memorial Day, Monday morning. So that's kind of the plan. So I may have some pretty big news for episode 300, based on some interaction, an email that I received yesterday. So stay tuned So some big news, exciting stuff. I may save for episode 300 if more details emerge here in the next couple days. That aside, I mentioned yesterday I knocked off one of my top cards on my want list on eBay a couple nights ago, and I did an offer, a best offer. They countered, and I accepted the counter. So that's been shipped. So hopefully sometime this week it will arrive. At the same time, I submitted an offer for another card that is basically has been since I received the Ernie Banks rookie last year in trade. Another card emerged as the number one on my want list, and I submitted an offer. And surprisingly, it was like 24 hours later that it was accepted without a counter. So it came across, and I'm like, oh wow. I was shocked that my offer was accepted, not even countered. I honestly thought it might get declined without a counter. So two probably the number one and number two cards on my want list, Cubs want list, have been knocked off this week. So I'm excited to get those. So I'm gonna have to. I haven't made a top 10 want list since before I received the Ernie Banks rookie. So I'm gonna have to go back and look to see what I have. I do know there was a couple things. One of the items was a season ticket book from like 2016, and then there was another season ticket book with like they had pictures of Cubs cards on them on the season tickets. I did buy a couple spring training season ticket books. So it's kind of like a placeholder, I guess. But I'm kind of like, I don't know if I really want to to like pursue those. I guess if I found them at the right price, I would pull the trigger. But I haven't searched for them for a while. I was at one time I was looking quite a bit to pick those off, but I haven't in a while. So I don't know if they would even make the top 10 now. I did submit an offer on another one. So the number one card on my want list is something that I do actively search for every once in a while. Not as much as the two cards that I bought this week. So there's a new card. It's a vintage that it would definitely be the most I've ever spent on a single card. I did put an offer about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And it was countered, and it was a very fair counter. But I had my price set at a certain amount, and the offer I submitted was what I was willing to pay. So I declined the counter. And now the lowest price is significantly higher than what even that counter was. So, I think another one will come to eBay, at some point. But just not at this time. So I'm willing to wait. I've waited this long. Hey, I waited a really long time for that Ernie Banks, so I can wait. It's not a Brian Dayette rookie because he was a Yankee in his rookie card. Maybe an 88 score, like a third year Brian Dayette rookie. So let's just bridge that into the topic for today because it goes hand in hand. I spent a lot of money on these two cards, most I've ever spent on cards. And the card that I just talked about, the vintage pre-war card, would be by far the most I would ever spend on a single baseball card. So what would you do if your collection became worthless? You sink all this money into these cards, and now they're not worth a thing. Like you can't just, I mean, they become worth as much as this piece of blank copy paper. What would you do? And I've thought about this because there's been some points and some debates, and actually one of this, I started this off with all the negativity on hobby Twitter. There was one string that I was reading through, and this was brought up. This topic was brought up, and somebody made a point that, well, if somebody cares what their collection is worth, they're investors and they shouldn't. I can't remember what the exact tweet said, but they shouldn't you shouldn't care because it's not an investment. And if you care what your collection is worth, it means you shouldn't be buying it in the first place because you need that money elsewhere. No, not the case at all. I care what my collection is worth to an extent. Now, do I care if the Ernie Banks rookie card drops from $300 to $100? No, absolutely not. I've never sold a car in my life, got millions of cards. Surprisingly, it was a different person that tweeted this. But along those same lines, okay. And then I think about it, it's like, of course I care. It's a collectible. It's still, even though it's your collection, you still want it to have some sort of value. My wife is into art. I'm sure she cares. Like on the surface, it's art. She bought it to display. So in reality, it's not like she's not looking to flip her painting she bought that I had to go help unload out of a semi truck in 30 below wind chills this winter. I for all that work, I hope it's worth something. But no, it's for display purposes. It's for a collection. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want it to be worth nothing. I want it to hold value for, if heaven forbid something were to happen. We don't need the money now, but what if? There's always a what if in life. What if the time came where you needed to liquidate, or you don't want to hand off my collection? We don't plan on having children, but to whoever we bequeath our stuff to, we don't want it to be worth nothing. We want it to hold some value. If you have kids, you want to hand down a collection worth something, not a bunch of 91 Fleer, right? Like, so to that extent, like, yeah, I absolutely care. But do I care like on a micro, like am I checking prices on Aramis Ottoman, Mojo refractors? No, absolutely not. And another point was like, okay, but I don't care, but I do care. I don't care, but I do care. Another point, like, and I blogged about this a couple years ago when David Bodie, when Bowman came out with David Bodie autographs, I think in 2019, they were like super high price. They were like, and I say super high price, like a base David Bodie Bowman paper auto. He didn't have chrome. Bowman paper auto, because it was retail only, was started out at like $25. And I'm like, this is crazy. It's a paper autograph. David Bodie at that time wasn't even a top 30 prospect. He was a role player, and it was kind of like a surprise that he was called up to the big league team. And I'm like, this is going to go down. It's a $5 card, but I would value it around 10. And I was able to buy one eventually a few weeks later, because with everything, you're seeing Bowman prices now already drop. It dropped to like, I think $7.50, $8. And that's what I bought it for on eBay, David Bodie autograph. And then on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, David Bodie came out of nowhere, hit a walk-off grand slam to beat the Washington Nationals. And then that card skyrocketed to like $75. Now, if I were the investor side of me, I want to add value to my collection, I should have sold at the height of that, because I knew it's one of those things where this is, maybe it settles at $20, but it's probably going to go back to a $10, $15 card, and I can sell it for $75 today and set that money aside. And in 2 weeks, I can buy one back for $15. And I have, $50 after the fees and stuff, $50 left to buy other Cubs. Now, that's what I should have done, but I didn't. I held on to the original $7.50 card I bought, watched the market move to 75, and then watched it drop back down to $12, and lost out on a potential $50 in that I could have used toward more Cubs. Don Zimmer 91 Topps. I could have cleared out my boxes, and I could have made thousands of dollars selling 91 Topps Don Zimmer that I would at a card show pay in bulk a penny or a half a penny a piece for those cards. They were selling for upwards of $15 at one time. And a part of me pulled them aside, took a picture, wrote the blog. Now what? I've got 50 right here that I did zero work to find. I could find hundreds more in my collection. I could turn these 50 cards right now into about $600 or $700. And I could pick off a couple of my top 10 want list cards for the Cubs by selling about 20% of my Don Zimmer 91 Topps collection. That's what I should have done, but I didn't, because I am a collector, and I find it very hard to give up Cubs cards. I'm even hesitant to trade, even if I have multiples. I talked to a fellow Cubs collector over the weekend, and I said, I don't trade Cubs. He's like, what if you have multiples? I don't trade Cubs. But turns out after some conversation, he is a Cubs collector. And I said, I will. Okay, since you are a Cubs collector, I will trade Cubs. If you have a want list, none of my Cubs are organized, so it may be tough to find. But I'll try to help you out where I can, because you are a Cubs collector. I'll help out Cubs collectors if I have multiples of a certain card. Sorry, Brad, Ryan Sandberg rookies excluded. But if I have, for the most part, if I have extras, and if it's a player collector or a team collector, I'll make that trade. I've traded up Dylan Cease Chrome Autos because I hoarded them, and I've traded some other stuff. So if I have multiples, I will trade in some circumstances. So to me, it's like, do I care? Yes, but do I care? Not really. I mean, on the surface, like right now, like it doesn't really matter. But I don't want it to be worth zero. Like I still, and see John Garland Bowman rookies. I would trade Dan. If you need some John Garland, I have plenty, so I would trade you some. I'm going to go back in the chat because I missed some. George says, I want them to hold a little desirability and value. Absolutely. Makes me think if I should sell my King Minho auto. I care, but I don't sweat it. And I think, George, I'm along your thinking. Like, I care, but it's like I don't really like I'm not like checking prices. Like it's a nice surprise. Cards go up. It's like, oh, hey, this is way up. But when cards drop, it's not like, it's like, oh shoot, I thought, I was hoping that card would be worth more, but I'm not, like you said, I'm not sweating it. I figure I can always at least get $1 a card for the good ones. LOL. So that's kind of my thought process was, it's like, I always think, of course, I want my collection to rise in value, and I care that it's worth something, but I also don't, because I guess kind of when the Don Zimmer thing came up, like, I mean, I was really close to pulling the trigger. I pulled those cards out. I pulled like 50 or 60 out just out of my Z box, which is about I've probably only sorted out 10% of my collection. So there's probably 1,000 Don Zimmers somewhere throughout my boxes. So that's kind of where I realized that I am I hate this term. I hate it. True collector. And I'm using the air quotes. True collector. So I'm a true Cubs collector. because I differentiate my Cubs collection. And yes, you can invest and be a collector at the same time. You can invest, and there's a buzz hobby word. You can invest, and you can speculate. You can use those words hand in hand. You can invest and speculate on cards, hoping they rise in value so you can profit and then increase your collection. Ooh, core collector. I like that, Brad. Core collector. So I can differentiate. My Cubs collection is collector, completely collector. Essentially, I don't care what the return value is, but I do in a sense where I want it to rise in value. But everything else is I absolutely, it's a, on the other side, it's a business. And it is a business because I'm paying taxes. So damn well better be a business. So I've got that business side and that business thinking. And sometimes it's hard to separate the two, where you see this 91 Topps Don Zimmer. This is not even worth a penny, but people are buying it for $15. And that business side, I've got business over here on this shoulder, and I've got Cubs collector on this shoulder. And this business guy is trying to sneak over to this shoulder and say, hey, sell those damn Don Zimmers. You're going to get $1,000 for those stupid 91 Topps Zimmers. Sell them. I watched Sam Kinison stand up last night, so I'm about to go into a Sam Kinison routine. We lost him way too early. So that was my thoughts on would you and I think at the end of the day, everybody wants their collection, whether they say it or not, wants their collection to rise in value or at least sustain the value. And if they say otherwise, I think they're lying, or they just don't. I'll have a sore throat I'll have a sore throat all day if I do that. I think at the end of the day, they don't really, I don't think they're thinking it through. So that's my thoughts. Bowman. What the hell's going on with Bowman? Okay. Blaster prices are rising. So I think it was MLB Shop. So I bought 3 retail boxes from MLB Shop. And at the time, I think they were selling the blasters for $30. And they've been like, retail SRP is $25 to $30. I think Target, when I bought them on Topps, they were $30. What's up, Ryan, my man? Yeah, this is live. Is this thing on? Ryan, I will, we had a conversation Saturday. So 40-year-old versions of our 10-year-old selves came up from Mount Prospect this weekend. Checked out the Madison Card Show. Awesome dude. It was great to meet him in person. And Ryan, we had a conversation on Saturday, and I'll probably have some news to share. It's kind of like serendipitous. I'll probably have some news to share in the next few days, kind of along the same lines of what we talked about Saturday. I'll leave you with that cliffhanger. Brad says Bowman is being printed like water. However, the price keeps increasing. Yes, it's insane. I don't understand it. So Topps last week, $30 a blaster. Target Friday, $25 a blaster. And that's like the new SRP, $25, $30. MLB Shop, I think it was $30. I bought the 3 retail boxes. They're still in transit. They've been in transit, just kind of like my Topps shipment. Took over a week. They sat in Georgia with Herman for a couple days. Then they moved up to Kentucky. They were in Independence, Kentucky for a couple days. Now they've been in Indianapolis since I think Monday night. They've departed Indianapolis, but they have not received a scan from wherever they're at. So I don't know where they're at. I don't have a I don't have an update on where they're at. So so that's my update on Bowman. So Dan, one of his ex-girlfriends is from Mount Prospect. Interesting. But only retail, not hobby. So I haven't seen hobby prices lately. So the retail, and then yesterday, I think MLB Shop released more Bowman. I'm eager for this cliffhanger. So MLB Shop released more blasters yesterday and increased the price to $40. And I guess, hey, if the demand's there, why not? So they increased the blasters to $40 on MLB Shop. Walmart released blasters, and this is not a third party. I double checked. I saw somebody tweet. Oh, hobby boxes are coming down if they're down to $270. I saw somebody tweet out Walmart has blasters for $51.99. And they even said, this person that tweeted that out, they even said, and no, that's not a third-party vendor. So I'm always skeptical. So I wanted to check it out for myself. So I looked this morning. Sure enough, Walmart.com 2021 Bowman blasters, $51.99. Walmart.com, not a third-party vendor. It's not Toy Wiz. It's not one of the other third parties. It's actually Walmart selling Bowman blasters for $52 for a blaster. That's nuts. I love Bowman, but that's nuts. Now the singles prices are dropping. So an Austin Martin First Chrome, I sold initially for $35, and I think I underpriced it. That was like within the first couple days of release. And then like a few days later, I sold a second one for I think 50, 40, 45, somewhere in there. So the Austin Martin First Chrome, like within a week, we're still selling for between $40 and $50. I sold one, I think Saturday when it sold, $23. So the prices have almost been cut in half on singles because that's not the only one. I dropped. Joe Adell is getting hot. I pulled an orange. I don't know if I still have it. I think I shipped it. So I had an orange insert number to 25 Joe Adell rookie. I think I started it at 150 or best offer, didn't get much traction. Dropped it to 125 or best offer, didn't get any traction. I received an offer. Now he's hot. He's getting hot in the minor leagues. I've sold it. I've pretty much sold all my Joe Adell the last couple days. And I accepted a $75 offer. I probably should have held out. Maybe I could have gotten 100. I don't know. Didn't want to take that chance. Took the offer, $75. Those prices on singles are dropping. So don't overpay for Bowman. I actually had a friend of mine from Illinois reached out to me and asked, is there anywhere to buy Bowman at a reasonable price and not these crazy prices? I said, unfortunately not. Here's where I bought them, but they're not available anymore at those prices. I do think Target will probably release more because like Brad said in the chat, they're printing it to the moon. And I don't even think in past years, and we know based on the odds that there's more being produced, but Bowman hasn't been this plentiful ever that I can remember. Maybe plentiful 5-6 years ago when nobody wanted it, like before the first Bowman craze, where it would sit in shelves and then be in the bargain boxes where you could get it for $9.99 for a blaster on clearance. Remember those days where you could get last year's boxes retail on clearance? Those were the days. So it's crazy. I have 3 retail boxes that should be delivered in the next couple days that I ordered from MLB Shop. And then I did get 6 blasters from Target last week. I haven't even received a shipping notification on those Target blasters, so I'm not sure what's going on with those. But I think after this, I'm done. I love Bowman. It's a fun rip for me. I really enjoy it. So who knows? Never say never. So So I think that's about all I had for today. What's up, Diego? Good morning. Jumping on late, but you're telling me my collection is worth something. It's worth about as much as that toolbox. So that's what I had for today. Have a great Wednesday. Um, oh, guess what I had last night? Casey's Taco Pizza. I forgot to tweet that out last night. I mentioned earlier I haven't been tweeting as much. My wife met up with her girlfriends at a restaurant last night, and I'm like, pizza night. So I got some Casey's Taco Pizza. So I've got some leftovers in the fridge. So I'm gonna have some taco pizza for lunch today. So it'd been a while, and it was delicious as usual. So I ate pizza and watched Sam Kinison stand up last night. How about that? A throwback. So good $1 billion video collection. So so I'm going to try to get my Cub count updated through the weekend with just everything going on. I was behind on shipping, which I haven't been behind on shipping in a couple weeks now. My sales have slowed down, so which is kind of a good thing that I'm busier now. But I'm going to try to get those Cubs counted. I do owe some trades, a bunch of trades still. So I'm working on those. I'm running into label issues. So I've got 2 label printers, but for some reason I can't get them to print correctly on PayPal. You are not pumping up your eBay store as well. That's a great point. I haven't tweeted. I haven't pumped up my eBay store hardly at all. So that could go hand in hand. But I'm really surprised. So on that, I listed this Austin Martin first Bowman yellow parallel. It's numbered to 75. And a couple have sold for like around $150, $175. And I posted that on eBay. It had 12 views in like 3 days. That's just, and it's a promoted listing. What's up with that? That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. A new hot player, new hot product, promoted listing, 12 views in 3 days. Something ain't right. So I don't know what's going on. I added more item specifics to the listing to see if that is boosted. So let's see. So it's been listed since, I think, when did I open that? Friday, maybe. I think I listed on Saturday night. Because that came in my most recent target blasters. It's the engine and the changes they are making. Yeah, it's crazy. And usually these changes don't take. I did check out my traffic numbers. Yeah, 18 views. So it's only views in the last 18 hours. 18 views in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, almost 4 days. That's not right. That's crazy. So I'll tweet that out. I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of helpful because I'm not as behind on shipping. But is there a gas station near you that sells it? If you're talking about Bowman, the only gas station that sold cards was Casey's in my area, and I stop like Casey's to me is like, do you have a gas station? Like, and when I say, do you have a gas station? Do you have a gas station that's like your gas station? Like if you take a trip from point A to point B and say it's like a 2-hour drive, but like that halfway point, there's a gas station and it's like, this is my gas station. This is my halfway point. Like Casey's is my gas station no matter where I go because the layout is pretty much always the same. I know where the bathrooms are. I know they have bathrooms. I know what they have stocked. I don't like going to, and I'm going to use this term, but I shouldn't. Okay, I'm not going to use that term because it could be thrown out of context. But I don't want to go to I'm trying to think of a synonym that I could use that wouldn't be, but a gas station you're not familiar with. And sometimes, okay, if I'm going to say I'm going to my mom's house, which is about 3 hours away. If I go to a gas station I've never been to, and it's like I need to go pick up a 12 pack of Bud Light, I may stop at a gas station I'm not familiar with, and all of a sudden I walk in, they don't have beer. Or I need to go to a gas station to use the restroom, and they don't have public restrooms. Or one of my most biggest pet peeves on gas station restrooms is you have to go to the counter and get a key, and there's 4 people in line with 1 cashier. I have to pee really bad. Open that freaking bathroom door. So that's why I like Casey's as my go-to gas station, because the bathrooms are always open unless it's occupied. They have beer, they have snacks, they have sandwiches. If I'm road tripping and I need a quick gas station sandwich, I know what Casey's offers. I can even get a slice of breakfast pizza. So Casey's is my gas station. And I love their pizza, especially that taco pizza. But Casey's used to sell baseball cards up until recently, up until just before the pandemic, 2020, early 2020, late 2019. At least the Casey's store nearest me still had baseball cards, but now they don't. And I've stopped because Casey's is my gas station. I've had to take some road trips, and I check when I go to random small Casey's, they don't have cards anymore. And other gas stations, I always look when I go to gas stations. If I can't find a Casey's and I have to use one of those gas stations that I'm not familiar with, I check for baseball cards, and I haven't found any. What is it with you and effing sandwiches, kid? So that is why there's the rise of other selling platforms as well as Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. Okay, I'm dumb. I didn't realize Casey's was the actual gas station. I thought they made and sold pizza through the gas station. No, so Casey's General Store is basically a convenience store. It's a gas station convenience store. And if you grow up in a small town, especially in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, I think, southern Wisconsin, it's like the grocery store in a small town. So they have pretty much everything. So it's a gas station, convenience store, and then they sell pizza too. So that's what I had for today. I went on a gas station rant. So I'm just going to cut it there. Check out Brad coming up next on his channel. He'll go live at about 8, so in about 20 minutes. Check him out over on the Texas Card Dude channel. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. About the Cards is on tonight. They're on at 10 Central tonight. Have a great day, and we'll chat tomorrow.